We're happy that you choose Equa Television International as your television and this particular program, Nigeria Now, as your favorite. Thank you for joining us. And as you know, in this particular program, we look at issues, around Nigeria and we discuss them. And remember that the show is not for just the two of us. It's for every Nigerian, whether home or abroad, to drop your comment and to say your church mind, concerning what is happening in your beloved country. And then today, I still have Joyce Dekada on the show.
Always a pleasure. Good afternoon, Samuel.
How are you doing?
Fine, thank you. And good afternoon to our viewers out there.
Yeah. Today we're looking at Goba polls, and then we're just counting hours, and people are really warming up. Some are discouraged, are disappointed because of the last process. But still, some people are still hopeful based on the assurances of the INEC, looking at all the complaints, they said they are going to tackle it. And then we are hopeful that this come 18th of March for governorship election, and then the House of Assembly is going to clean up some accusation, pointed at INEC. And we are hopeful that based on their assurances, they will keep to their word and then work on those lapses and then clean up their name, those dark spots, that is being tagged on them. And then looking at that, people are looking forward to the Goba election, and then the same INEC this time around is sending a strong warning to political parties, against violence.
Well, that is so good coming from the INEC warning political parties against violence. And, earlier on we were talking people feel discouraged and like that about the election drawing by what happened during the presidential election. A lot of complaints about the process and the irregularities that were actually experienced. But I think I must give it to Nigerian youths from before the election, even the presidential election, and then even as we look forward to the gubernatorial election, I tell you that it is more like there is a call for the awakening, regardless now of what has happened. People are saying we will go out and we will vote. And this time around, we're going to protect our vote. So I think I give it to Nigerian youth. I give it to patriotic Nigerians. And I think this call is very important. And going by what the INEC chairman said, the Independent National Electoral Commission, talking about INEC, says political parties should prevail on their supporters to refrain from acts of violence during the governorship and state assembly polls. Mahmoud Yakubu, INEC chairman, spoke on Tuesday during a meeting of the Interagency Consultative Committee on Election Security. The INEC chairman thanked security agency for the professionalism of their personnel and the largely peaceful conduct of the presidential election. He said INEC state offices have provided the police with the details for the governorship and state assembly elections, including locations of polling units and collation centers. And it is on that basis we expect a coordinated deployment plan in synergy with other security, intelligence, law enforcement, and state agency, he said. And only yesterday, the commission held a virtual meeting with all resident electoral commissioners, RECs, in which we reviewed preparation for the state election, in addition to election technology, logistics, and a host of other issues. Security was also discussed. The INEC chairman said the governorship and state assembly election involve more constituency candidates and coalition centers than the national elections. On that basis, we expect a coordinated deployment plan in synergy with all other security. And he said it is therefore important for parties and candidates to ask their agents and supporters to see the election as a contest and not a war. They should refrain from acts of violence that may mar the elections or compromise the security of our personnel, observers, the media, and service providers, he said. the commission, encouraged by the directive to state command by the Inspector General of Police to handle all cases of electoral offences expeditiously. And I think we must give it to INEC. This is timely, well, calling on, and you don't expect anything less, because we saw that before the campaigns commenced in 2022. We saw this call again even before the presidential election, and now I think this is what is obtainable as we speak right now. I think so many Nigerians have already received messages from INEC saying that the governorship election as well as State House of Assembly is holding on the 18th of March 2023. That is Saturday. So, but the thing is this. If you ask, is this the first time that INEC is calling on political parties and candidates to refrain from violence? No, this is not the first time. We've seen situations where even the president addressed presidential candidates and their supporters to refrain from violence. Before the campaigns, INEC, Khan, Sultan, and other stakeholders also talked about the fact that everything should just be free from violence and all. But more like it is in the nature of those people that are bent on disrupting the process, that regardless of what it is said, regardless of pleas, they always do against the law. And why do they always have their way? Because at the end of the day, nothing is being done. Because if you disrupt a process and you go scot-free, next time you want to do more. And that's why we always ask we talk about the system, the process. If we're getting things right, then we would not have to be warning people. But because of the culture of violence, we see that even in people that are vying for position, people that are supposed to be leaders, you see them exchanging some verbal violence among themselves. So what do you expect of their supporters? Like the INEC chairman said, this is not war. Like, people should see election as game. Apart from game, it's a call for service. And if it's a call for service, it means you're serving people. So if the people say, no, we don't want you, then you take a bow peacefully, honorably. But by the time people say they don't want you and you want to force yourself into the system, that is why you see all those people hiring talks, hiring. I think the security agencies who are expected to be implementing some of these things should be seen on ground. And we know that the Nigerian police are like the major security that are in charge of elections. But most of the time, how many security do you find around most of these polling units? The polling unit is about 2,000 people. You just see one security personnel. No wonder you see people come snatch ballot boxes and go away with it scot-free. People, like we saw the case of Jennifer in Lagos, she was stabbed on her face, and people were asking questions, wearing security personnel there? How many security personnel against how many talks you get? So I think going forward, we need to put all these things in place. There are areas that already the security will tell you this is a red spot and all of that. So beyond noting this red spot, from some of the body language of some of these political parties and even their candidates, you could tell that these people have the tendency of erupting violence in certain area, and that's why they name some of these area red spots. What are we doing? What is our plan to avert such situation? So I think it is important that we embrace peace. Like the president said even before the presidential election, that whatever it is, accept it in good faith. It is not a do or die affair. Leadership is about service. We're in where we are today because of lack of leadership. Because if we have leadership, we won't be talking about violence. People will be able to make sure that the process is seamless. Leaders will ensure that they live up to their responsibility. But more what we see always is like people just doing things at their own interest. When it goes against their interest, they disrupt the process. But I always urge Nigerians, let's remain calm. Let's not, because of the greed of one politician, decide to take ourselves back 10 years backward, like because of one interest. Think about your interest and national interest. By the time you're fighting yourself or you allow yourself to be used, their children are outside this country. Some of them, even before the election, they have sent their families outside this country, and they come and pay 1,000, 4,000, 5,000, 10,000 to go and fight or disrupt the whole process. At the end of the day, you're killed or something. Even if you don't die, but how long will this 4,000 sustain you compared to the lives that are gone? 2011, we saw how that over 1,000 people died on the streets because their candidate did not win election. So some politicians are bent on just disrupting the peace that Nigeria is experiencing because the system, if it doesn't favor them, they fight it.
Well, it's quite unfortunate, and I think it's very important for INEC not those red spot. It is a good thing because already now I will say they have reduced to a certain level, you know, what even the security agency is supposed to do, because already now you have a template, you have, you know, those areas that are likely to have issues, which strategic force, you know, are to be deployed in such places. Because, like you said, some places over 3,000 people in a particular polling unit, and you just see 2 policemen, and maybe not just even 2 policemen. You just see 1 policeman and then 1 traffic warden, or road safety, or you understand, mix, and then during election, they are not even allowed to be armed, you see, so that it will look as if the country is in a situation of war, that some people will feel scared and then maybe not come out to vote. You understand? So, but yes, we know there are special squad, special force that are being strategically positioned in case of issues like this. So we want to see such deployment in this kind of area, so that people will not just come out and intimidate people, and then you have people that are genuine, want to just exercise their franchise, and then somebody will just come that is not even voting. That's just the painful part of it, because you can imagine, if you are voting, that means you are part of the polling unit, and if you are part of the polling unit, that means you are within, and the people in the community knows you. So that means you cannot find it easy, you know, disrupting the process in that place. But you will see these people coming, you know, from far distance, coming to that location, you know, snatching whether the beavers, destroying even the election materials, and then they get away with it. And you begin to wonder. And at the end of the day, they will now tell you that the whole of that polling unit with over 3,000 people or 2,000 people has been cancelled simply because someone came and then snatched a ballot box there. I don't think, you know, that kind of thing would even say well with INEC. I'm just saying personally, because you can't imagine me and you were just here just to come and vote, and somebody is coming from a different location that is not voting, and we come and destroy things, and then they will say my own polling unit has been cancelled. To me, it doesn't make sense.
And that's why we're urging Nigerians not to allow themselves to be used, because at the end of the day, if you're used to disrupt the process, at the end of the day, when you're going to market and then you are being told that the price of a commodity that is supposed to be 100 naira is 1,000 naira, the politician you fought for or you caused violence for Joyce, won't be there.
Joyce, if you check it very well, those kind of people, they don't care. They don't care.
Because gratification.
Because at the end of the day, you will find them coming back to where they disrupt and then asking people there to even help them, because maybe that person that sent them fell.
I think we should wake
you understand?
up.
Yeah, so we should wake up, and then, like you said, it is very important. We should, that civil education, I think, is very important for people, you know, to know their rights, guide what they know that is their right, stand together and defend what they know is right. Just be patriotic to your country, to your community. I think it will take us.
And you know, before the election, we saw deployment of security personnel across the countries, and people kept asking the question, so where were they in some of these polling units that we kept seeing talks, attacking people, stabbing people and all of that? There was no, going by the video, there wasn't even any security at that moment that that act was perpetrated. So let's learn from the past. We've seen INEC address it. We've seen security personnel talking about readiness and preparedness. But at the end of the day, some people were attacked. Even INEC officials, I think a core member was killed as well. So let's not just be reactive to situations. Now that it has happened during the presidential election, what have we learned, and what procedures, what are the things that we've put in place to avert that from happening? We don't want to hear that anybody died during this governorship election. And I think it's up to all the security agencies to come together and ensure that the needful is being done to avert occurrence. Because this time around, governorship and State House of Assembly, I think more there's going to be more polling units, like more, the number is going to outweigh that of the national, the presidential and national assembly election. So let's see preparedness at all levels. Let's see proactive measures being put in place to avert attack of any sort.
Yeah, Nigerian cyberspace suffered over 12 million attack, during the February 25th poll. This is coming from Pantami.
We spoke about that during the presidential election, how that people didn't even have access to the IREF, and it rose a lot of questions. So what is happening at this time? Some people are already alleging that some people are already trying to hack the process. But, well, the federal government of Nigeria has revealed that it recorded 12.9 million cyber attacks during the elections from within and outside the country. And the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, Professor Issa Pantami, disclosed this on Tuesday, noting that over 6.9 million attacks were recorded on the day of election. Pantami commended the agency charged with protecting the nation's cyberspace for their effort in successfully blocking the attacks. Cybersecurity attack, which pose a significant threat to the integrity of the democratic process, is a stark reminder of the need for robust cybersecurity measures to protect against cyber threats. And I think I like that coming from the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, the need for more cyber security, because before the election, when we were told that results are going to be transmitted through the IREF and in real time, people were going to see results, and that's to avert this issue of rigging, because most times, at what point are elections rigged? At what point are elections changed? The stages of collation and announcement, because from this hand it goes to this hand, it goes to this hand, and figures are being imputed. That's where you find this exchange of results, adding up of numbers, reducing of numbers, and at the end of the elections are being rigged. And that is why INEC saw the need through the Electoral Act of 2022 to ensure that results are being transmitted in real time from polling unit directly to the server, and Nigerians having access to it in real time. That gave hope and confidence even in the process. Like, we had over 12 million first-time voters, like additional voters to the previous one, because people are now saying, oh wow, since now I can go and vote and my vote will count, and I can even have access to the election, why not? Let me do it this time around. And we saw the large turnout of people during the presidential election. But again, with the failure of the IREF, people having access to the IREF on the day of the presidential election, that's when counting had already begun, it rose a lot of questions. But what INEC came out to say in a statement is the fact that they were having technical glitches. And for some people, they said, it's irresponsible for you to just tell us technical glitches without any explanation. You can't, at a moment like that is most important, just shut down an election result viewing portal without giving any reasons. And even days, weeks after that, nobody's explaining what the technical glitches is. But the Minister of Communication and Digital Economy, talking about Professor Issa Pantami, has said that just on the election day alone, there was 6.9 million attacks recorded. And well, people saw that possibility. That is why even before the election, they asked the question, what plans do you have when people try to hack this site? And all in all, about 12.9 million cyber attacks was experienced before and even during the election. Some people are bent on winning by fire, by force. That's why you hear people saying, this time is my own, and all of that. So, but questions were raised. INEC said they were prepared, but unfortunately, people didn't even have access to that IREF on that day. But today we're hearing this. What is more important is, what have we put in plans in place to avert this? Because definitely there are people, this thing is not just within Nigeria, even outside these 12 million cyber attacks that was actually experienced. This is a site that needs to be protected. And beyond the INEC, the election result viewing portal, businesses in Nigeria, individual accounts have suffered cyber attack. And I think as a nation, we need to increase and do more about cyber security. This is something that I think we don't put a lot of attention to, but I think it's very important. So many Nigerians have lost funds. Businesses have been crushed down because of these cyber attacks. People hack into business, hack into private personal accounts and all of that. So if we have a ministry like this, I think we should do more to improve. Year in, year out, budget is being made, money, so humongous amount of money are being allocated. But why do we still have people having access? We see kidnapping for ransom, monies are being transferred, yet we can't even track any of this thing. I think we need to do more. People should sit up to their responsibility. Beyond the talk, let's see people doing the action.
Beyond the talk, let's see people doing the action. I agree with you, because it is very important now that the policy of the government is saying everybody should go digital. You understand? So people want to see how secure that environment is. So they feel, yes, you are saying we should go there, but as a country, how secure is our cyberspace? Because we feel we want to do business. People want to put everything that they are, on that space. But how secure it is? You look at how Nigerians now are struggling with the issue of transfer. Issue of so many things with just this cashless policy.
So many people have lost funds.
You understand? Like yesterday, you were saying some people transfer money for like over 3 weeks now.
From December.
December. I remember. From December and up to now, no reversal. There's a law. There's a law against that, because even the CBN law says 24 hours reversal. Yes, that is it. But today, 7 days, 1 month. And then your bank is not even telling you anything. In fact, you go there, they are even posing as if, they are doing you a favor, where there's a law to that. But sometimes you see the issue of a weak system that we talk about. When things like this happen, even if it's 100 naira I'm losing, is there any place that I will go and they will listen to me and see my 1 naira or 10 naira as something that I value, that they feel, because the system is working, the system can spend 1,000 naira to reverse my 10 naira? That's the system that is working, because they don't care. One thing is that they want to maintain their integrity. So they will do everything to make sure that the system is working. And talk about people that have a lot of money, that lose a lot and millions of money, that they cannot say anything, and those monies are gone. And then you expect them to do business comfortably. I think it is very important, the issue of cybersecurity, like you said. But come to issue of the 25th February, the general election, the presidential and the National Assembly. People are asking, even 24 hours, the cyber whatever is being attacked, on that particular day, over 6 million, right? People are asking, how many seconds do we have in a minute? How many minutes do we have, in an hour? And then how many hours do we have in 24 hours? So if you calculate that and you divide to 24 hours, are they saying this number that they are giving us, over 6 million times attack, is possible? Well, that one, the Nigerians will calculate that and they will give themselves answer, because they have to bring the two together and see whether yes, what they are saying is like that. But I think above all, it is very, very important that we secure our cyberspace.
I think it's worthy to note that we can only build a nation on righteousness. It is only righteousness that exalts a nation. And to build that great nation, we need justice and integrity.
Justice and integrity, that is all we need. And remember, that change that you desire starts with you. Thank you for doing this with us. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your likes. We pray that tomorrow you will still give us your time. The same station, same time. Remain blessed and be good to one another. Bye-bye.